Hi everyone. Today we'll start our video series that you will start receiving going forward on a weekly basis that are going to have tons of lead generation ideas and tips to help you build the real estate business that you intended to when you got your real estate license. So before I dive in, and just to explain what you'll be receiving for the rest of the month. Going forward, each video will cover a different lead generation strategy. So we will cover for sale by owners, expireds, networking, working with your sphere of influence, social media advertising, farming techniques, and a lot more. But today, you really can't start to delve into all those lead generation types without having an actual lead generation strategy written down so that you're not just throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. So the first video in the series that I wanted to do is how to develop a lead generation strategy that actually works. And for many of you, this will not be a new concept for you because we do talk about this a lot in productivity coaching, but I'm hopeful that now that we are in heading towards the fourth quarter of 2019, I'm hopeful that you will be able to pull out the plan that you already did when you joined the office and re-judge it so that we can move forward with it. Or if this is a brand new concept, I hope it's very helpful for you to help you develop what you should be doing on a daily basis with your real estate business. So there's a couple business planning documents that we use here at Keller Williams, and when they're all formed together, they form a well-run business plan. Okay, so as you know, we treat you like small business owners. We do not consider you just our sales force. We don't expect you to just go out and make sales for the broker in charge. We really are committed to helping you run your own real estate business through our systems, models, and resources that we have to offer for you. So no good business can run effectively without a business plan, right? So the first thing that you should be doing when you're talking about building your business and getting everything up and running is to start with a plan. And the benefits of having a written plan is that, one, this will help you with time management, because once you have what you intend to do down on paper, you can then refer back to that on a daily basis when you are questioning what you need to be doing to move your business forward. The second benefit is that it allows you to know when you're on track for your income goal, right? I'm sure that you got into this business to make an income and not just, to work for free. And so ultimately you should have an idea of how much income you're looking to derive from real estate this year. If you're not sure, please set up a coaching conversation with Robin and I so that we can help you determine that number. It might be the number that you need to replace your full-time salary with. It might be the number that you have in mind that will bring you to the lifestyle that you've always envisioned while you're selling real estate. Whatever that number is, you need to have a plan that backs it to support that. So we're going to go through one of the three components of a business plan, and I will do other videos on the other two components. Actually, we'll touch on the third too, but the one that I'm not going to cover today is the economic business model. All of you should have an economic business model done. I will do a video at some point regarding this. There's a lot of resources. If you don't have an economic business model done, please let Robin and I know. We can sit down with you and do it one-on-one so that you know your numbers. But just touch on it briefly, and then we're going to move on. What the economic business model does is it takes your income goal for the year, and it breaks it down into how many appointments you need to be going on a weekly and monthly basis so that you can ultimately achieve that income goal. Okay, so for instance, many agents start with a goal of making $100,000 in real estate in their first year. That's a great big, maybe scary, but super exciting goal. If you have a goal similar to that, we'll just use that as an example. That typically breaks out to about 5 appointments per month that you want to be going on, and it's usually 3 buyer appointments and 2 listing appointments. This is not, again, a hard and fast rule. You have to run the entire model. It's a series of equations that will lend itself to telling you these numbers. But if we just use that as a general guide, basically what it comes down to is how many appointments you need to go on every month. This should be your sole focus, and most of your energy during the day should be spent on setting appointments for yourself, hitting that appointment goal. If you have your appointment goal, this is probably the singular most important number for you to know with your real estate business, because without any appointments, you have no clients. And if you have no clients, you have no income. So make sure that you get together your economic business model. If you have it already, revisit it, and let's look, because the next document that we're going to use is really what's going to help you set those appointments, right? Because we can tell you, okay, go set 5 appointments, and you'll probably look at us and say, well, I would love to, and how. So the rest of the series of this video is to show you the and how version of setting your ultimate appointment goal, okay? So what we're going to use, and this is a super easy business planning document, it's called the 135, okay? That's a Keller Williams term. You'll hear it a lot. So the 135 goal setting tool. The 1 is the one main goal that you're looking to achieve for the year. The 3 strategies to achieve that goal are 3 strategies that you will do to achieve the main goal, okay? And then there's 5 tactics for completing each strategy. So I'm going to go through each section one by one so that you understand. And just as a side note, I am going to go rather quickly through this process because I don't want the video to drag on forever. I feel like I will probably lose all of you. So I'm going to try and get through it. And then if you have questions, please know you can always reach out to me or reach out to Robin with the questions so that we can help you with the plan. Okay, so the main goal is the number 1 goal. There you can choose from 3 separate options in this block here, okay? The first one is your income goal, so your income goal for the year, okay? That is how much money you want to make this year. The second one is your unit goal, okay? Now a unit is how many houses you want to sell that year. Now, as a side note, a little cliff note at the bottom, if you sell a house, there's 2 sides to the transaction, there's a buyer side and a seller side, right? Each one of those sides is a unit. So in one house sale, there's actually 2 units that are being counted for production purposes, okay? So if you're a buyer's agent and there's a different agent that's the listing agent, you get 1 unit for selling that house. If you are the listing agent and then you find the buyer and you also represent the buyer, so you're a dual agent in that transaction, you now have 2 units, okay? So even though 1 house is selling, you've gotten both sides, that's 2 units. That's important to understand when you're counting your unit goal, okay? And then there's your GCI goal. So your GCI is another Keller Williams term you'll hear a lot. It stands for gross commission income. That is the gross amount of money that you need to bring into your business so that you can ultimately pay your expenses and your taxes and have your ultimate income goal sitting waiting for you in your bank account to use as you please, okay? Now, there's no right or wrong goal to pick here. You will derive at all 3 of these goals from your economic business model. So if you have that done, refer back to there. If you don't have that done, come see Robin and I so we can put it together for you, and then you'll have those 3 numbers. So you want to pick one. For our example, I used net 100,000, okay? I just say whichever one resonates with you the most. Whichever one, when you wake up in the morning, you can say, okay, my goal for today is, my goal for this year is to make 100,000. I've made 30,000 already. I have, 60,000 left to make, or 70,000 left to make. Okay, your unit goal. I've sold 10 houses already. My goal is 20. I have a gap of 10. Whichever one works best in your mind. Every person picks a different one. Put that in the one main goal. For example, I've used net $100,000. So now the three strategies to achieve a goal: cold buyers, cold sellers, and warm leads and referrals. All of your leads, right? Real estate's a lead generation, and it's also a numbers game, okay? So there's a lot of conversion ratios that you need to take into consideration when you start to really hammer out your business plan. But ultimately, your leads are going to come from one of 3 places, okay? They're going to be cold buyers. That means buyers that you do not know that you are going to go out and market and advertise to ultimately draw in to become your clients, okay? Cold sellers is the same idea, but with sellers for listings. Warm leads and referrals, that is your database, that is your sphere of influence, that is networking, leads that you might get through networking, okay? These are the 3 areas that you will want to focus on and you're going to derive leads from, okay? So, as a side note, all of these, this template will be attached to the email that's sending you this video. It's also available in the file section of our private Facebook group, which is KWHVU-productivity coaching, and there's a little symbol at the end of it. And then they're also available in your Google Drive, in our Google Drive folder under the business planning documents. Okay, so now we have the 1, we have the 3 down. Now the 5 tactics for completing each strategy, that is where you're going to list out which lead generation strategies you really want to stick to. And I want to spend a minute on this before I give you a full list of options. And this is what I want to say. Most mega agents, when you actually look at where they're making their money off of 1 or 2 lead generation activities where they spend 80 to 90% of their time. Okay, for instance, there are some mega agents that spend 80 to 90% of their lead generation time cold calling for sale by owners and expireds. It's their one thing. They're very good at it. They know their conversion ratios. They know how to set appointments from that strategy. Okay, their income becomes predictable from that lead generation strategy, and while they might also get referrals and Facebook leads and whatever farming activities and some past client referrals or whatever, what have you, they have one thing that they really have focused in on and made theirs. Now, as a newly licensed agent, you might not yet know what you want to make your 1 to 2 main focus lead generation strategies, and that's okay. I would suggest that you try a bunch, but for a consistent amount of time, okay? The second thing that I'll say about a lead generation strategy is you can't just put a lead generation strategy in place for 30 days and expect to see the results that you want. That's not how it works in this business. You really need to work a lead generation strategy sometimes for close to 6 months to a year, depending on the lead generation strategy, before you are really seeing a high return from it, okay, and are a master of it. So do not expect if after 30 days you've run Facebook advertising and you've gotten no leads, don't give up. Okay, that's a coaching conversation to make sure that your strategy is on point. And if it is, a lot of times it just takes time to start to receive the leads from it. So when you're new, you want to be trying a lot of different lead generation things so that you can see what's actually leading to build a business. And then over time, you should be tracking your return on investment for each of these lead generation strategies to make sure that you are getting a return on the activities that you are doing, okay? So how you can do that is every time you get a lead, make sure you write down where they came from. Every time you have a closing, make sure you write down the source of the business for the closing. And then at the end of the year or quarterly or monthly, however you want to do it, when you're looking forward to seeing what you need to focus on and what you can let go to the wayside, look and see where your money actually came from. Okay, so with that being said, on the next screen, I'm going to show you a lot of options, lead generation options, many of which I will put out videos in the coming weeks about specific strategies around these lead generation options. And what I want to tell you is do not pick an option you're not really going to do, okay? This is not a homework assignment. You're not in school. You're not a salesperson in an office where I'm your boss and I'm telling you to fill out this form to check it off a to-do list. This is your business plan. These are the things that you are going to commit to doing every day for your business to grow it and to ultimately make the income that you're looking to make. So while there will be probably 15 to 20 options on the next screen, do not fill out 15 to 20 things unless you're really going to execute on them. And if you're going to execute on 15 to 20 things, I would challenge you to set up an actual budget for yourself to see what that would actually cost to execute on all of them. So this might be something that you can't fill out while we're doing this video. Actually, I would say that you absolutely should not be fully filling out this form while we are doing this video. This video is teaching you how to do it, and then it will take some time, you putting in some time separately to go through and create a budget for each one that you want to do and a plan, and we'll go over that in a further slide too. But this is not a homework assignment, okay? So I am not going to come and double check your work. I'm not going to give you an A+ if you fill out the form with all 5 levels filled out, okay? This is your business plan. So only choose things that you are committed to do. If you're not going to cold call, do not add in cold calling, add in what you're going to do. If you're only going to cold call, only add in cold calling. And that's what we will make a plan around, right? Okay, so all right, so ready? This is all the lead generation things. And again, this is an exhaustive list, but it's pretty thorough. So cold sellers. Where can you get cold seller leads from? Expireds for sale by owners are very easy. It's cold calling. It's cold calling. You have to be willing to cold call. Cold calling will get you results though, and it is definitely a way that you can build a very big business for yourself very fast by honing in on this. Door knocking, circle prospecting, farming, social media and internet leads, and paid leads. Okay, these are all ways that you can generate seller leads for yourself. And ultimately, you are generating enough seller leads between this cold seller list and your sphere of influence and networking that will set you your appointment goal for the month from your economic business model. So if your economic business model is to go on 2 listing appointments every single month, and that will give you your income at the end of the year you're looking to make, then the strategies that you're putting down and the 5 tactics for completing each strategy need to be able to confidently set you 2 listing appointments, okay, per month, or 4 or 5 or whatever your goal is. Okay, so cold buyers, open houses, listing marketing, paid leads, social media and internet advertising, door knocking again, and farming rental areas. These are all great ways to pick up cold buyer leads, okay, and I'm going to do videos on a lot of these. Your sphere of influence and networking events, one-on-ones, sphere of influence calls, allied resources, drop-bys, and past clients. These are all ways that you can build your business. Take a few minutes and look at the ones, look at the list, exhaustively, and write in to that 5 category as many of them as you are going to 100% commit to executing on during your lead generation time, okay? If you need to, take a screenshot of this page or take a snipping if you're watching on your computer. This is all the lead generation strategies. Okay, now once you've determined which lead generation strategies you want to pick, this is what you want to do. And this is going to be on a separate piece of paper, not on the 135 form that we had, okay? Because the 135 form is great at getting you to narrow down your ideas, right? You're starting from a big income goal. We're breaking your leads into categories. We're defining which lead generation activities you want to do. But simply writing down on a piece of paper expireds and for sale by owners is really not a strategy, is it? No, it's just an idea. It's just really like an idea floating in space. Like, oh, I'm going to talk to for sale by owners and expired listings. That's great. What does that mean? So what you need to do then is expand upon the 135. Okay, this is what I do every year in November when I look to create my business plan. I do a 135, and then on a separate sheet of paper, I really hone in each lead generation strategy. Okay, so the first thing that you want to determine for each one, so we'll take, let's take open houses, okay? Open house advertising for buyer leads. So the first thing you want to determine is who are you targeting? Or I guess the first thing you would really do, we should switch these, is how are you getting in front of the leads? Okay, so is it marketing? Is it calling? Is it print advertising? Is it internet advertising? What are you doing to get in front of people to ultimately get a response, elicit a response from them, to become a potential lead for your pipeline or a name for your database, okay? And in what repetition are you getting in front of them? Are you running ads on a weekly, on a monthly basis? Are you making cold calls daily? Are you sending postcards out quarterly? Are you doing client events semi-annually, right? Like in what repetition and what frequency are you running the ads? And then go ahead and plan out your marketing pieces. And I would do it for at least the next 6 months. Like I said, it's going to take you probably 6 months to determine what's working and what's not. So you want to do 6 months worth of marketing pieces, advertising, lead funnels, and emails that you're going to put them on, okay? Then you want to decide who the targeted audience is. Okay, so who are you getting in front of? Who's coming to your open house? Is it the neighborhood? Is it renters in the area? Is your house a move-up house? So it might be somebody that bought their first house 10 years ago that now is looking to move up into a bigger house. Where do those first-time home buyers live? What are their interests? How can you get in front of them? How can you get mailing lists involved with them? Okay. So these are the things that you want to plan out beforehand, right? This is your marketing strategy for each one of these lead generation tactics. And again, in the forthcoming videos, I will explain different strategies. But in addition to this, you can also find tons of resources online with for all of these lead generation strategies. Okay. Now, the next thing you want to do is for open house, for example, you need a plan for beforehand, right? Like what advertising you're running leading up to it. Where are you hosting open houses? What marketing pieces are you putting out? How are you driving attendance to the open house? How are you capturing? Okay, so now that's all beforehand, all the marketing beforehand. Then you want to develop a strategy. This is open houses again, just for example of when you're at the actual open house, capturing leads and all these things that we'll go over in the open house video. And then whenever a lead is captured, they need to be on a follow-up system, okay? This is so important. The money in real estate is in the follow-up, okay? I'm going to say it again because it's that important. The money in real estate is in your follow-up. Not every lead that comes in is going to be a 10 for your pipeline, meaning that they're ready to buy right now, okay? But if you stay in front of them, a good portion of them will buy over time, and they will use the agent that is top of mind for them. Many studies have shown this. So for every single lead that you capture, no matter if it's a walk-in to an open house or door knocking or calling a for sale by owner or running a Facebook ad, every single name that you collect for your database needs to be on a follow-up system, okay? And we can help you strategize. Robin and I can help you strategize follow-up systems for each lead type, okay? Now, in addition to that, you want to set goals for each lead generation strategy and how you are going to track the leads and return on investment. So for instance, if you're making cold calls to expired listings, what you really want to do is write out all of your expenses. So your expenses will likely be a dialer system, okay? Any handwritten notes to expired listings is a very effective way to do it. You might do a postcard campaign in addition to the calls that you're making. So you want to upfront figure out what your budget is, and then from your budget also determine how much income you need to derive to not only cover your budget but have a return on your investment. And then you need to figure out how to track the leads that are coming in. So anybody that I'm coaching with that makes cold calls knows I have a sheet that as you're making the call, you circle it when you're dialing. When someone picks up, you put an X through it. If someone answers, you put an A through it. And on and on and on and on. And what we start to develop is your conversion ratios for how many phone calls, how many times your phone has to ring, to how many times people pick up the phone, to how many times the people that have picked up the phone actually set an appointment with you. Okay, so that's how you can track the leads so that you can start making things repetitive, right? Because wouldn't it be nice for you to be able to say, if every time I make 20 phone calls, I talk to 4 people, and those 4 people I talk to, I can usually generate 1 appointment from. And that 1 appointment is 1 of 2 appointments that I need to set per month so that I'm on track for my 1 of 2 listing appointments, that I need to set per month to be on track to hit my $100,000 net income goal for the year. That is how specific you should desire to want to be with your business. If you are that specific and you are tracking and doing all of this, you will have a well-run business. Okay, now you will have a business that you own, not just a business or a sales job that you are running around chasing leads and constantly feeling like you're not doing things purposefully. Okay. Now, once you have all of that written out, so again, on a separate piece of paper, you want to write out all of this, who, how, the follow-up system, and your goals for each. What you can do then is now you have your yearly lead generation system. So everything that you want to do during the year, you've now laid out everything that you want to do to lead generate and drive your income goal for the year. Then there's another form that's called the 411. It's an action and goal sheet. This takes your yearly plan and breaks it into monthly and then weekly systems so that you can stay on track, because having a yearly plan and big income goal is important, but really what it comes down to is what are you doing day by day to move yourself forward towards that goal, because you will not start on the first day and end up with $100,000 on the second day, right? It's a series of small steps throughout the year, purposeful steps in a plan and a system that will ultimately lead you to your big annual goal that you're looking for. So we have a 411, which is an action goal worksheet that is a great use. You can find it in the same areas that I talked about with the 135 earlier. At the top, you want to put in your annual goal. In the second slot, you want to put in the month of. So every month you should be doing a new one of these. So for instance, it's August, so put in the month of August and your monthly goals. Your monthly goal is going to be your appointment goal. That is how this whole system works. So I would put in our example, we are using $100,000 as the annual goal, monthly goal of 5 appointments. So I would put in month of August, 3 buyer appointments and 2 listing appointments. Then in the next slot down, you're going to look at your weekly goals. So this is when you're going to go back to your 135. And you are going to go through each lead generation strategy and write out which portion of that strategy you are executing which weeks of the month. So for instance, if you intend to do 2 open houses every single month, you will decide at the beginning of the month which weeks of the month you're going to be doing your open house. Say it's week 2 and week 4. And then in week 2, you would write open house and open house prep. So week 2 would be your open house preparation, marketing, getting ready, and holding the open house. Week 3 would probably be follow up on the open house that you just held, right? And then week 4 might be the second open house you're holding. So, doing all of your beforehand marketing and so on and so forth. Now, when you have all of this written out, that is how you ultimately will create your time blocked calendar. So once you have in every single week what your lead generation focus is going to be for the whole month, then take that focus and look on a week by week basis. So in our example, if it's week 2 is open house, then when you go to do your time blocked calendar for the week, you're doing an open house on Saturday. So Monday you have to do your Facebook post and your Facebook ad. Tuesday you send out flyers. Wednesday you send out an email to your database. Thursday you do a slide aisle to the neighborhood. Friday, you door knock the neighborhood and invite them and hand out flyers in the community. Saturday morning, you do maybe an hour before you do meet and greet for the neighbors, and then you execute on it. Now, all of those things are very actionable items that you're doing. So instead of putting into your time blocked calendar lead generating, right? Because if you put down lead generating from 9 to 12, that's great, and I love that idea, but it's going to be very hard to execute on if you don't have a plan written out like this. But if you're able to sit down and say, okay, it's Monday, I did all my planning, and my 411 says I'm doing an open house on Saturday. That means today, I know on Monday, the weeks that I do an open house, I have to start my Facebook ads. In addition to that, I'm calling expireds and for sale by owners, and I know if I call 5 expireds per day, I can usually have 1 conversation. And if I do that every day, I'll be able to set 1 appointment. So on Monday, I need to call 5 expireds, and I need to start my open house ads for my Facebook, for my open house ads on Facebook. And then I need to reach out to 10 people in my sphere of influence and continue to add names into my database. That's a lead generation strategy. That is specific. It's measurable. You can hold yourself accountable to it. It's timely, right? It's that day exactly what you're doing. And tied up in a nice bow will help you be very, very actionable and also very purposeful in your real estate business. So these are great systems and models that you can implement. They work for a variety of things, but I think developing your lead generation strategy as a newly licensed agent should be the core of what you're focusing on, is really building a habit around lead generation, and the easiest way to do it is through the system. So if you like this, that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like this, please give me some comments if you're watching this in the Facebook group. I look forward to more videos where we will dive deep into each lead generation category and talk about strategies and follow-up systems and marketing examples and all sorts of things like that. And in the interim, if you need help with any of these forms, please reach out to Robin or I. If you have not, if you're in my group, please schedule one-on-one coaching with me via the link that you receive on Sunday. If you're with Robin, please schedule one-on-one coaching with her. We're happy to go through these systems and models to tailor a plan for you. Okay, make it a great day, guys. Thanks.